So let's see. Our next question is from 1989. He says, "What would you say are the 5 tools for an NBA player, and how many 5 tool players are there, if any?" So there's a 5 tool baseball player. That's a guy who can hit for average, hit for power, has a good glove. He can run.
Can you repeat that question? Who would you say the 5 to what?
Like, so you know how you evaluate a baseball player and say it's a 5 tool baseball player, right? So it's like the basic skills and how well do you excel at each of those skills. So if you were to try to apply that same concept to a NBA player or to a basketball player, what are those 5 tools, and how many players in the league right now do we think would actually have all 5 of those tools?
Okay.
I mean, I would say obviously it's handle, being able to beat someone off the dribble. I would say obviously being able to shoot the three. I would say depending on how you want to split up run and jump athleticism, or if you want to say that's all together the same, I would say that's one of them. I would say strength, physical strength is another. And then I would say vision and passing ability. And then even with that, I left out rebounding. So I don't even know if you can. So what did I say? Shoot from three, shoot from distance, handle, um, um, I would say athleticism was. I would say agility, athleticism, strength, and then I guess is rebounding. I don't know if I left something out. But you can't even leave out the willingness, the mental commitment to defend, because that you can't leave that out either.
So for me, it would probably be more like playmaking overall, which would include ball handling and the ability to make the pass on and off the ball. It would well, with the ball in your hands for a while, and with the ball just coming to your hands and then moving again. So playmaking. It would be on-ball defense, off-ball defense, rebounding, and I would say this is the tough thing, because with shooting, there's two distinctly different shooting categories, which is shooting off the dribble and shooting off the catch. And I think with NBA you have to make it 6 stars because you play two sides of the ball at all times.
Yeah, I don't think you can fit in. I don't think you can fit it in 5.
I wouldn't put athleticism only in the sense because if a player can get it done, I don't care what the athleticism is. Like, for instance, Draymond Green is pretty unathletic, but things that he's able to do, some of those things are relegated to athletic players. They say this guy has the tools to be a great defender. They usually mean he's very quick with his feet. He has great quick reactions and all that stuff. Draymond does it with intelligence. So I don't care that he doesn't do it faster.
But he does do some of it with strength.
But I agree with you. But he has the tools. And the thing, that's one of the beautiful things about basketball is some steady, awesome point guards are Andre Miller. Some steady, awesome point guards are, more in the Chris Paul mold. Some guys are more in the athletic mold. But can you get the job done? Like De'Aaron Fox is a really steady point guard, insanely athletic. Insanely athletic. But so I care more about what the athleticism does than whether or not you have it.
But see, I think if you're looking for an apples to apples comparison to the 5-tool concept that you use in baseball, the tools don't tell you about the result. The tools and identifying them are telling you about whether or not the base or the talent is there. And I think that if you're trying, like I said, to make it an apples to apples comparison, you can't jump to the end and say, do they get it done? Because that's not how that's not the way that the concept works. Because if you say, can a guy hit for power? Can he hit for average? Does he have a strong arm? Is he fast? And does he have a good glove? That's not really talking about the results. It's talking about, does this person possess?
But here's the problem, though. There have been so many unathletic NBA players who were great and so many athletic NBA players who are terrible.
Exactly. But that's exactly what I'm saying. If that's not how the concept works,
You know what? That's probably why we don't apply that concept to basketball.
But you could, because you could say the same thing about baseball. You could say, oh, there's been so many big fat baseball players who didn't have an arm, who couldn't run that fast, but they're in the Hall of Fame. But it doesn't matter. They're in the Hall of Fame, but they weren't a 5-tool player. You know what I'm saying? It's two different things. It's two different things. Like, there are guys who are 5.
But on the flip, but with baseball, they say baseball is a game that you really can go by the numbers. Like, you can play Moneyball in baseball. And we have this pushback against analytics because many, many people experienced in the game really feel like there's just too many variables in the basketball game. There's too much motion. The ball goes from one side to the other. There's offense, defense, and then off ball between stuff. I don't think it works for basketball.
But it doesn't work because your mind is going to the results, and the tools are not about the results. The tools are about the basis, the beginning of the conversation, and you're going to the end of it. We're talking about, this is literally about physical tools, not about how they apply them. And so that's the thing.
But you said it's about physical tools. Why would you put 3-point shooting in there? That's not a physical tool.
It is a physical tool. It's the same. It's just as much a physical tool as hitting for average, being able to spray the ball here or there, being able to put the ball into an area. It's still a physical tool, because here's the thing: you may be a good shooter, right? You may be a good shooter, but the result might not be that you end up shooting or making as many threes as another guy, because there's another part of your game that you don't have. So that's a tool that you would still have, but it won't necessarily result in greatness even in that area, because you might be missing something else. So there's been 5-tool baseball players who have been flops because of something that happened, mentally, or some issue that's a little bit outside of the 5-tool area. So I think it can be applied, but I don't think it can be applied in 5 tools. I think there's too many. There's a few, maybe 6, but not 5.